Hey everyone, welcome back to the highlight.
Today's episode, we'll be talking about the NBA season starting up last week.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get started. So Sean, what are your thoughts on the game so far?
I think the games have actually been pretty good. The Lakers, they're doing pretty good. The Thunder and the Celtics are just dominating as usual. But the Hawks are doing so good. First two games we win them, but then we suffer a loss against the Thunder, which I'm not really that mad about because they are a very good team. So they're looking promising. The Nuggets and the Bucks, they're not doing so hot, but I think it's because of the matchups. The Bucks, I think they're just terrible. But the Nuggets, they faced the Thunder. I think they faced the Clippers and they've lost. So I'm not really too the Nuggets are still a very good team. They just haven't had the best matchups so far. The Cavs are pretty good. But you can't really tell until, in my opinion, around the 20 game mark. That's where I think you can see who are playoff contenders and who are not.
I can agree with you on some parts, like how you said the Nuggets have an easy schedule, but the Bucks are just selling. I really don't know why the Bucks have a losing record right now. They should really be 3-0, especially after beating the 76ers so easily. The Bulls, they're easy. They should be an easy win. Same with the Nets, but no easy game in the NBA apparently. But I do have to disagree with you on the games being pretty good this year. I'm kind of disappointed so far.
Why is that?
The teams have just looked lackluster in the West, and then mostly in the East, they've been pretty dominant, especially the Hawks, and it hasn't been a great season so far. But like you said, we can't really tell who's a contender, who's a pretender, and who's just tanking for Cooper Flag until the 20 or 30 game season mark.
All right. So do you have an NBA MVP frontrunner right now, or do you think it's too early to tell?
Kind of like with the contenders, you can't really tell around the 20 game season mark. But if I had to choose an MVP right now, it would either be Jason Tatum or Anthony Davis. Jason Tatum's leading the league he's not leading the league in points, but he's top 3. The Celtics are 3-0, blowing teams out, and he's just doing everything he needs to be doing right now. He looks like a real MVP candidate. Same with Anthony Davis. He's averaging almost 35 points and 11 rebounds, and he's top 5 in blocks. So it's really between them two, but I'll give about 20 games, see where the records, see where stats are heading.
I agree with you. The whole Jason Tatum thing, he's obviously going to be good. He was very good last year. They obviously won the championship because of him and because of his teammates. But Anthony Davis, he's doing good right now. But as we've seen in years past, he's good up until a point, but then he just falls off the map and he just, sucks. For me right now, I think Shai Alexander, I think he's a very good player. Last year, he was exceptional. He was obviously a MVP frontrunner. So I think this year, he's already done really good so far. He's gotten 20 points or above in the first 3 games. So I think he'll do good this year, and he might even win the MVP. Who knows?
So who do you think has been the most surprising team?
I think the Grizzlies. Obviously, Ja was suspended last year, but him coming back this year, and also the addition of Zach Edey. The team last year was very, very bad, but this year, from the games I've seen, they're starting to get the groove back. I just think that team is obviously good right now, but I think in the future it will be very good just because of the building of the rookies, around just more young people added to the team.
So I know surprising is supposed to be kind of a positive thing, but I'm going to take it in a negative way. And I think the Kings have been surprising in a bad way because they were supposed to be this really good team, and then they signed their small forward DeMar DeRozan. He's been elite on the Bulls, the Spurs, his pretty much whole career. And then now you're off to a really slow start with not looking great on the floor. They're 0-2 right now. Really shouldn't be, especially with all the talent they have. We have Fox, Sabonis, even Murray. It really confuses me as to why they're not undefeated right now. Only exception will be just the Lakers being that good.
You talk about them being disappointing, but the Bucks are obviously really disappointing. It honestly just seems like Lillard and Giannis are just the only people on the team because the rest of the players are just doing absolutely nothing for the team.
Shitting cardio in.
Yeah, they're really just running around the court and just doing absolutely nothing. The Bucks team is a very old team, so there aren't really many young people who are starting and playing that much, which I think is very bad for the team's future. They obviously have Giannis, who's going to be playing for a long time. He's very, very good. but then they also have other players who are sitting on the bench who are also old and just not playing. So I think the Bucks' future is very bad. But who knows? The Bucks, like last year, they were pretty good. They could come back, but I'm not sure right now.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on the Bucks just being completely disappointing. Like I said earlier, there's no reason they shouldn't be at least a 2-win team right now. I can see a loss to the Sixers, but they won by double digits. And then you go out and lose the Bulls and the Nets by double digits. I mean, you gotta think what's going on with this team, what's going on with the front office.
So do you think the Hawks are a serious contender in the East?
It really just takes time. I mean, we've seen this in the past where Hawks get a hot start, start off the, maybe 5-game difference between 500. They'll really start to go off, and then near towards the All-Star break or midseason, they'll kind of slow down, go on a 3 or 4 game skid, and all it takes is 3 or 4 game loss streak, and boom, you're done. You're out of contention.
I have to agree with you, but I think the Hawks, at least what I'm seeing right now, are a pretty good contender. I mean, our team last year it was pretty rough, but this year, the addition of our rookie, he's been doing pretty good in the games he has played and the minutes he has gotten. So I think he's a very good player, and he will be a very good player for us. But Trae Young, he's obviously leading us right now. He has around like 30 points or something. Like he got a last game. I'm not really worried right now. Like we obviously won the first 2 games, but we obviously lost against the Thunder. As I said, I'm not worried about that just because the Thunder, they're a very good team. But just our team is very strong and pretty consistent, and I think if we can keep up this pace, we are very good playoff contenders. Who is the best rookie so far, Drew?
I know this is kind of a hot take, but I really think it's Donovan Clingan. I mean, yeah, he's only averaging 5 points. Yeah, he's not passing the ball as much, but he's averaging around 5 rebounds and 2 blocks a game. That's really all you can ask for from a rookie center. I mean, if he keeps this up, he can really help the Blazers maybe make the play-in, but as of now, we really just have to see.
So I think Yves Missi has definitely been the rookie of the year so far. I mean, he's had several rebounds and also blocks in the past 3 games. He's racked up 25 points. Like, he also hasn't gotten a bunch of minutes. I mean, the Pelicans last year, they were all right, but this year, the addition of this 7-foot monster, the Pelicans, they weren't so good last year, but this year, I mean, the addition of this player, they are definitely up there with the playoffs. Obviously, Zion playing a big part in this offense and defense. So the addition of Missi just contributes to the defense in a very big way and to the offense. So we'll just have to see.
It's a very good opinion. His name is hard to pronounce.
Yeah, it's very hard.
So what do you think is the problem with the Nuggets 3 games in?
People are saying that Nuggets are not as good as they were last year. I think that's untrue. Their schedule has been very hard the past 3 games. They played the Thunder, they played the Clippers, which are very, very good teams. So, I mean, it's the very beginning of the NBA season. There's 82 games, and there's much more to come. These 2 games do not define the Nuggets. Jokic is obviously a very good player. He's going to keep on being a very good player. I don't think there's really any problem with the Nuggets right now. I guess they just need to find their groove and just play ball. So what do you think of him?
I agree with you on the Jokic take, but what really upsets me is I really don't think there's a problem. I just think there are bench difficulties. I mean, everyone wants to blame Russ. Yeah, he's not doing great. His plus-minus isn't favorable compared to the starters, but it's not supposed to be. He's supposed to come off the bench and try to help this team get back in the lead. That's what the bench is for. People always say, oh, Russ destroys super teams, and it really isn't a super team if a washed-up Russell Westbrook's on it, so that's just my take.
Yeah, that is pretty true. So before we actually move on to the next question, there's a quick word from our sponsors.
A special thanks to Silver Sky Woodworking for their support of this channel. Without them, it would be impossible to record this. If any of our listeners need custom furniture, accent walls, cutting boards, custom cabinets, they should head over to ViridianNews.org and click the link for Silver Sky.
We would also like to thank Ms. Kelly Moss, the mother of Jake and Jack Moss. Thank you, Mrs. Moss, for the donation. This donation is very helpful to the Viridian staff. With these donations, we can work to get new microphones and a new soundboard for better audio quality. And we can even make the room feel like a comforting space for all of us to record in. Even $25 helps towards the room.
And we're always looking for new patrons and sponsors, so let us know on ViridianNews.org if you'd like to be part of our work and reach our audience with us. Now, back to the podcast.
All right, Drew, who is your Eastern Conference champion?
even though it's only been 3 games, and we talked about the 20-game rule, yada, 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 it's the Celtics. I mean, they've looked absolutely dominant. I'm really afraid to see what they're going to do to the Bucks this week because, that's supposed to be a marquee matchup, a top matchup at the beginning of the season. And now it just looks like the Celtics are going to roll through them by 30 or even 40. I mean, the only other team I see competing with them in the East is probably the Knicks, maybe the Magic. I just really don't see it.
I really hate saying this, but I agree with you, Drew. The Celtics, they're just such a big of a powerhouse that it's just hard to ignore. They were very good last year, which actually, they won the championship. They were very good in the 2022-2023 season. So I would not be surprised if they do make it to the playoffs, make it to the championship, and win a ring. This is just what the Celtics do. They are a dynasty. They are very good. Their team is always very good. So, I mean, I don't like the Celtics at all, but they are definitely a playoff contender and a champion contender. So who is your Western Conference champion?
I know it's a bit of a hot take, and there are obviously a lot of other better teams in the West, but I really think the Warriors are going to win the West.
Oh.
No, hear me out, okay? They have more playoff experience than anyone in the West, and I really just think with their hot start, if they can keep it up, they can win around 50 games, and maybe even make it finals run. I mean, I can really see a 2022 finals rematch. This Warriors team, yeah, they lost a lot of key pieces, but maybe that was a good thing. I mean, you've seen Clay. You've seen how he shoots in the playoffs. This isn't 2017 anymore. He's washed up. He's a bum now. So give me the Warriors in 6.
Yeah, that's just a joke. I mean...
Okay, come on, bro. You can't even... Who do you have? Don't you dare say the Timberwolves.
I have the Thunder.
Okay.
And you can't even argue it because that team is just built on winning.
Well, you have to think about this. They don't have much playoff experience. They got bounced last year by the Mavericks.
The Mavericks were very good last year.
They didn't have any playoff experience.
Okay, but the Thunder, their team, the defense is top tier with...
Both Shea and Shea.
Yeah, both of them. But then they also work so good on the offense. Like, you just have Shea knocking down threes, and you have Chet who just dunks on anyone who gets in his way.
I don't know about anyone.
And you have Jalen Williams who just knocks down anything, basically.
Not last night.
Maybe not last night, but the Thunder, they are the champions of the Western Conference. That's all I'll say.
I just can't stop thinking about what the Celtics did to the Mavericks in the finals last year, and then what the Mavericks did to the Thunder last year. If the Thunder get to the finals, what do you think the Celtics are going to do then? They're just going to easy back-to-back championship.
Okay, but you're talking about last year. This is this year.
They're bringing back
this
the
is
same roster. They're bringing back the same roster. What do you think is going to happen?
Okay, but now they're experienced. They have had a year to play with each other. They have had an offseason to grind.
They had that same roster for a solid 2 years before that.
Whatever you say, buddy.
Hey, just don't doubt the facts. But who do you think is going to have the best record in the East and the West?
I mean, best record for East, obviously the Celtics. For the West, I think the Suns are looking pretty good. So I think their record is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know what you're on, buddy, but I really think I agree with you on the Celtics take, but I really don't even know if the Suns are going to make the playoffs other than the play-in. So I think the Thunder are going to have the most wins in the West, but I think they're getting bounced in the second round again.
The Suns, they have KD, they have Devin Booker, and that's all you need. That's literally all you need.
I mean, they had it last year, and they got bounced by a first-year Anthony Edwards in the playoffs.
Okay, but they were not used to playing with each other. Now they have good team chemistry.
Until one of them gets injured for the rest of the season. Bradley Beal.
All right, so who do you have winning the NBA Finals?
Warriors in 7. Trust me,
You're
bro.
glazing them.
I'm not glazing. I don't hear nothing about glazing, bro. You went and saw a minute rant about the Celtics just 2
Because they're
minutes
good.
ago.
Like, I don't like them, but they're good.
I don't like the Celtics either, but I'm not glazing them. Come on. Give me Warriors in 7. Steph Curry going off again.
The Celtics are obviously going to make it to the finals.
Jesus, I'm like
And they're
Justin.
obviously going to win again because their team is just too good to compete with any other team in the league. The Warriors will be lucky to make it to the playoffs. That's all I'll say.
We sound like Justin with the Yankees. Shout out Justin and Andrio. He's on a different podcast here.
All right. So what is the Spurs, Hawks, and Bucks floor and ceiling?
So the Spurs, I think they make the play-in, but their ceiling's like a top 5 seed. I just see them making the play-in. I don't know why. I feel like that Chris Paul and Wemby combo is just too lethal for the league to do anything with.
Absolutely not.
All right, bro. Listen, we all have our different takes. Yours are just wrong sometimes. For the Hawks, I mean, we already know what's going to happen. They're either a top 4 seed or they're barely making the play-in and then getting bounced in the play-in.
Champions.
Bucks, they're making the play-in, and if figured out, they're making the top 2 seed. But Hawks,
Spurs, they didn't really do so hot last year. I don't really think Chris Paul's going to affect their record at all. They're probably just going to do very, very bad like they did last year. Probably get like 13th in the Western Division. So, I mean, the Hawks, I'm hoping they make the playoffs. I'm hoping they go far. But honestly, they're obviously not going to make the championship because they're just not as good as other teams. And then Bucks, they're looking very, very bad this year. I mean, as I said, the future is very, very glim. So the Bucks, I don't think they're going to be doing so hot this year. Maybe make the play-in, but that's just my opinion.
So what are your Western Conference standings, like 1 through 10? Who makes the play-in? Who makes the playoffs?
All right. So, number 1, Suns. Number 2, Thunder. 3, Mavs. 4, Lakers. 5, Pelicans. 6, Timberwolves. 7, Nuggets. 8, Clippers. 9, Grizzlies. And 10, Warriors.
I'm actually going to go from 10 to 1 because I like it that way.
Okay.
All right, so at number 10, I got the Spurs. I don't know. Trust.
The Spurs are like a bottom 3 team.
I can name 3 worst teams in the Spurs right now.
All right, do it right now.
Hornets, Bulls, Nets, Pistons, Wizards, Jazz,
The Hornets.
Portland Trailblazers. Yes, the Hornets. Have you seen how they play?
Okay, but they almost beat the Hawks.
That's not hard to do. That's not hard to do.
The Hawks are a very good team.
The Nets almost beat the Hawks.
Okay, the Nets are not that bad.
Oh my gosh, they lost their franchise guy to the Knicks, their Eastern Conference rival.
All right, what's number 9 then?
Clippers.
Okay.
Then I got Pelicans and Grizzlies making the last 2 seeds. Then I got the Suns, the Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Mavericks, and then the Thunder topping it off at number 1. Trust me, bro. Trust me on the Warriors
being
take.
top 5 is actually insane.
Trust me on the Warriors take, bro.
Did you not see what happened last year?
Did you not see what happened the first 3 games?
The Warriors versus the Lakers, and the Lakers pummel the Warriors. If the Lakers last year...
First off, no. Let's stop it right there, buddy. Lakers aren't doing nothing as long as J.J. Redick is their coach. Like, yeah, they started off 3-0. Yeah, cool. Doesn't matter.
They have Bronny James. That's all they need.
All right, bro. Give me one good reason why we don't end this podcast right here, right now.
Okay. What about your Eastern Conference standings?
Back going from 10 to 1. In the play-in, I got the Hornets and the Nets missing. Then I got the Heat at the 8, 7 Hawks, 6 76ers, 5 Bucks, 4 Magic, 3 Cavaliers, 2 Knicks, and then 1 Celtics. I feel like Celtics is just a far 1, unless like Jason Tatum breaks his tibia or something.
Okay, number 10, the Hornets, obviously.
Yeah.
9 Raptors,
Okay.
8 76ers, 7 Heat, 6 Bulls, 5 Cavs, number 4 Hawks, obviously. With number 3, Magic. And number 2, Knicks. Obviously, number 1, Celtics, because they're just the better team.
I would like to make a change to my predictions. Number 9, I have the Pacers. I forgot they were a good team.
That's insane.
Bro, they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year and brought back the same exact roster. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in next time for the MLB season recap. And remember,
Stay classy, Walnut Grove.